Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RubbingsRacing channel. This is the RubbingsRacing Touring Car Championship Division 1 here this evening. We're here for round 3 at the circuit of Brno in the Czech Republic. It's a very tricky circuit to get right. Lots of hairpins, lots of tight twisty turns. It's very technical, and you definitely have to have the car very nicely set up around the midsection of this circuit if you're going to get a good lap time. And currently on provisional pole position we've got Smithy. Smithy is currently second in the championship at the moment on 114 points, 15 points behind championship leader Demobi. Smithy has been the only man to really give Demobi a proper good test so far this season. He gave him a good run at Alton Park, where I think he came out, or did he come out on top in that? I know there was a good battle in the sprint race in that one. Wasn't commentating that day, but they've had some good tussles. Ultimately though, Demobi's had the better of him so far this season. We saw in the last round at Hockenheim that Demobi took a clean sweep of pole position and the victories in both the sprint and the feature races. But Smithy, currently provisional pole position. We've seen some, having said that though, Stealth Sheep has just gone fastest. So Stealth Sheep fastest of anyone so far. I was just saying that Smithy has been the one to give Demobi probably the biggest test so far this season. He seems to have just been overtaken on the track there by Demobi actually. As we're saying that though, that is Demobi, yep, that is Demobi. But back to our provisional pole sitter here, Stealth Sheep. He's actually new to the RubbingsRacing Tier 1 of the Touring Car Championship. He was third in Tier 2, which was the Clio Cup, after 2 rounds, but he's been called up for an early promotion here this season due to a couple of vacancies in Tier 1. So Stealth Sheep, one of the new guys in Tier 1, and he's taken it by storm already. Provisional pole position so far in this session with a 208 dead. We've seen in practice a few 207s being put in, so we're expecting that the times are going to come down as this session progresses. Oliver Marseille says, "Let's go, Andy." Great commentary. Thank you, Ollie. It's early doors, but very kind of you anyway. But at the moment, Stealth Sheep doing a solid job on his debut in the RRTCC. Who's in P3? Let's see. It's the Console currently sat P3 at the moment. Console is a 25-year-old sound engineer from Norwich. He's one of the moderators on our Discord. He's actually the owner of our Discord as well. Always goes well in the touring cars. Currently third in the championship on 104 points, 25 points off of the championship leader Demobi, and he's driving the same livery that we saw last season. Seems to have a very good record in feature races, does Alex. Not so good in the sprint races, so it usually takes him a race or two to get warmed up, but once he gets going, Alex, one of the fastest, most competitive guys on the grid. It's good to have him with us this evening. Demobi, we've spoken about him already a couple of times. He is the championship leader so far this season in the RRTCC. He's been absolutely dominant so far. He's won 3 of the 4 races in the 2 events that we've had this season, and as just mentioned, he took a clean sweep of pole positions for both races and took the sprint and feature races last week at Hockenheim. It was his home race, our German driver from Bavaria, and it seems to be not as quick around here as he was last week at Hockenheim. Around Brno, he's 0.4 of a second currently off of the pole time with a minute and a half left to go in this session, but I'm sure that Demobi is going to get it sorted out and put that car up onto, well, I'm sure he'll hope to get it onto the front row at least. Looks like our current provisional pole sitter, Stealth Sheep, has gone even faster. 207.8 from Stealth Sheep. He's pitted, he's abandoned his attempt to go faster, so Stealth Sheep is done for this session. Is it going to be enough for Sheep to get his first pole position in the RRTCC Tier 1? We'll wait and see. We've got a minute left to go for these guys to get round and start their final laps of the session. Where's Lightblade? Lightblade, one of also another debutant here in the RRTCC Division 1. He was the leader, championship leader in the Clio Cup coming into this one, and he's been called up for an early promotion. Didn't fancy sticking with it and taking the championship in Tier 2. He thought, I'll go for the fast track, get up into the big boys and see how I can do. And Lightblade, what a lap there. He goes fastest of anybody in the session so far. He's 0.5 quicker than Stealth Sheep on that last run, and he's going to get get one more go to try and cement his position at the top of the leaderboard. What's Bobby Dazzler doing? Bobby Dazzler's pits from P6 at the moment. So Bobby Dazzler is out of the session so far. Grandad Steve running P7 at the moment. Grandad Steve is very, very good in the touring car. Oh, he's going very wide there as I say that. Grandad Steve's got a good record in touring cars, but so far this season it hasn't really worked out for him. 48 points, currently nearly 100 points off the championship leader. Where's Thorsten Smith? Currently sitting in a top 10 position at the moment. Thorsten Smith, another one of the new boys in the RRTCC for this race, and he was 5th in the Clio Cup standings coming into this one, and again fast tracked into this division from the Clio Cup. It's good to see Thorsten with us there this evening. He's currently P10. Looks like he's cruising around at the minute, so this might be a flying lap, I'm not sure, but he's driving the BMW, one of I think the only BMW in the field, I believe, unless I'm very much mistaken. So Thorsten Schmidt representing his country there, his homeland Germany, in the BMW Power here. Good to see a Beamer on the grid here this evening, and these things get off the line very quickly, so look out for Thorsten Schmidt at the start of the race. He's going to be absolutely flying. He improves his lap time massively there, but it's not enough to move up a position. He remains P10. Lion's Foot still out there on a lap as well. Where's the console? The console coming through the last few corners now. The console currently P4 in this session. He's coming up the hill up towards the back straight towards the final couple of turns, and let's see if the console can improve on his lap time. He's 3rd in the championship, not too far off the leader Demobi, so this could be a chance for him to this round could be a chance to gain some points and maybe cut into that lead at the top. Here he comes. Alex comes out of the final corner now, currently in 4th place here in qualifying, 4/10 of a second off a pole. He comes over the line and it's an improvement, very slightly, but not enough to move up a position. So it's a Lightblade on his debut. In fact, it's the debutants who really shine here this evening in qualifying for the sprint race for the RRTCC. Lightblade on pole position. Stealth Sheep will line up alongside him on the front row. We got Smithy the console on row 2, Demobi and Bobby Dazzler, then Grandad Steve, Kembo in 8th, Lion's Foot and Uni Clark, and Thorsten Smith, that guitar dude, Tuggy Bear, and Lecky will line up at the back of the field for this one. We're almost about to get going here for our sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. I would just like to say, while we're all here, while we're all watching on the YouTube channel, if anybody's interested in joining Rubbings Racing, then just go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk and register yourselves as drivers. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and don't forget to donate at www.rubbingsracing.co.uk, and be sure to get involved. This is the most authentic sim racing experience on the PlayStation 4, and it's great to see all these guys lining up. These guys, some of the fastest touring car drivers on the PlayStation 4 platform and project cars too. We're delighted that we can bring this to you guys this evening. Let's have a look and see what we're saying on the comments here this evening. So Ollie Marseille says, console for the win, pink cars are faster. Well, I think Alex will definitely agree with you on that. Alex has a thing for pink cars. They're definitely his favourite to choose from. Cole Houghton says, come on Lightblade, let's have some good racing, lads. That's what we're hoping for here, Cole. We're hoping that all these guys can keep it clean, keep it tidy, and let's hope we can get through the first corner all nicely. It's a very, very wide circuit, Brno, so we're going to see a lot of guys being very opportunistic coming into turns 1 and maybe 2 as well. So the field are going to be very tightly bunched, and let's hope that we can all keep it together and keep ourselves in order. I believe this is a 10-lap sprint race with no mandatory pit stop. That's the usual drill for the Rubbings Racing's Touring Car Championship. So we'll be about to get going in a few moments' time. Lightblade, debutant, first race in Tier 1 for the RRTCC, starting on pole position. So alongside Stealth Sheep, also new to Tier 1. It's the debutants who are taking this league by absolute storm this evening here at Brno. We got Smithy and the console veterans of Tier 1 lining up on row 2. Then Demobi, championship leader, disappointing qualifying this evening. He's way back here. It's not like him to see him that far back in the field, and it looks like we've lost Smithy on the build up to this race. Smithy has retired from the race before it's even got going. Absolute disaster for him. And the lights are out and we're underway. It looks like a good start there from Demobi there from 4th place. He's up into 3rd already, up ahead of the console, and it looks like Lightblade's got off the line very nicely as well. The Stealth Sheep also good on the inside. Who's going to go for a move up into turn 1? Looks like Stealth Sheep's going to pull alongside Lightblade. These guys are going to go side by side for the lead of the race. It looks like Lightblade's going to just about hold it on the outside, but Stealth Sheep's still there, still letting him know he wants to position. The console has been pushed back at the start. He's lost 2 positions, 3 positions off the line from the console. Demobi's up into P3. Thorsten Smith, fantastic start from him, up into 4th place already. Grandad Steve looking to the inside of Alex, and could he make a move here on Thorsten? And it looks like they're going to go too wide into turn 3, but it is Lightblade who leads the way. Stealth Sheep in 2nd position. The Demobi and Thorsten Smith. Grandad Steve's dropping backwards. What's happened to Grandad Steve? He's dropping way back down. Grandad Steve's at the back of the field. Unbelievable. What has happened? So our man from Newcastle, he's dropped loads of positions there. Didn't see exactly what happened. Must have maybe contact there with somebody. But Bobby Dazzler has got off the line fantastically well. He's already up into 5th place from right near the back of the field here. And we're going to go too wide. Demobi is going to try on the outside here of Stealth Sheep, but Stealth Sheep's not going to let him round him that easily. It looks like Lightblade in the meantime is absolutely shot off at the front. He's flying here in lap 1 here. He's got off the marks absolutely brilliantly. And hats off to Lightblade in his debut in the RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship Tier 1. But at the moment, Demobi, championship leader. What a start from him. Up 2 positions straight away. He's looking to make it 3 here on the first lap. He's going to try and hassle or maybe even trick Stealth Sheep into making a mistake here. And you can see in the background there, Bobby Dazzler having a little look there on Thorsten Smith, but thought better of that one. Kembo here is going to go past the Lion's Foot. Lion's Foot is onto the grass there. That's Lion's Foot, our Welsh driver there, in the wars already there, dropping 3 positions off the curb. And that's going to promote Bobby Dazzler, Uni Clark, that's Galactard and Kembo all up in position. Tuggy Bear also inherits the 9th position there from Lions Foot as well. Lots of people going wide onto the grass there, but it looks like is that Bobby Dazzler there getting out of shape? It is Bobby Dazzler, and Bobby Dazzler's going to find himself open to an attack here from Kembo. Kembo, can he go around the outside? Our American driver from Pennsylvania, moderator and commentator on RubbingsRacing, fantastic commentator I must say as well. Here they come out of the final corner, and these guys in a line here, 5 cars battling over 5th position. Uni Clark leading this little battle at the moment. He's got that Katadu right behind him. No, it's Thorsten Smith leading this little battle. In the meantime, Stealth Sheep has closed the gap here on Lightblade. Lightblade must have made a mistake there in the final sector, because he's lost absolutely loads of time here to Stealth Sheep and Demobi, who are right onto the back of him now. These guys separated by just a second. 3 cars in a line here as they come down this second straight on this lap 2 here at Brno. Thank you everybody for joining us on the stream. Cole Houghton says, is this a sprint and a feature or just one race? It's a sprint race, this one, Cole. Then we're going to have a secondary qualifying session before the feature race. So there's 2 qualifying sessions, and the feature race is 1 lap longer than the sprint race. This is a 10 lap sprint race, and then the feature race will be 11 laps with random weather conditions. So that's how we're going to do things here this evening. So we've got Lightblade currently leading, and you can see Demobi is absolutely hassling the back here of Stealth Sheep, not letting him go, not letting him drive off here. As Demobi, our championship leader, will be looking to make up for a poor qualifying session where he ended up starting 5th place, didn't manage to get his full potential lap in here. We've seen in practice he's been in the 207s. He only managed a 208 in this particular session, so Demobi out of sorts, but he's definitely got it sorted out for this one in the race. What's going on in the background? Looks like Thorsten Smith is got his mirrors absolutely full here of Uni Clark, our man from Swindon, trying to trick him into a mistake. And Uni Clark here, we know obviously has got plenty of talent in the touring cars. We saw last season was the runner-up in the RRTCC to Luke Bennett. But so far this season, it hasn't really gone to plan for Uni Clark. He's currently sat 8th in the standings with 52 points. It hasn't really gone like it has did in the last season. He was leading the championship actually for most of the season, got overhauled by Luke in the final couple of rounds. But Uni Clark here looking to make amends and cut his way through the field. And has a little look there on the inside of Thorsten, but thinks better of that one. Very late on the brakes, Uni Clark. Thorsten Schmidt defending the line very nicely. That BMW has got plenty of straight line speed, and it's not easy to pull a move when you're driving the Megane. The Megane's with the grip, the BMW's with the power. Out of the last turn, Thorsten Smith defending the position here from Uni Clark, and in the background there Bobby Dazzler closing in on these guys. Dakitadu very close in combat as well. Kembo just watching all of this unfold. We know Kembo likes to study the lines, figure out drivers and know what's going on with these guys before tempting into a move, but at the moment it's as you were. Thorsten Smith, Uni Clark, Bobby Dazzler, Dakitadu and Kembo. Very, very close quarters at the moment. What's going on at the front? Lightblade's pulled the gap a little bit. He's got a second here to Demobi and the Stealth Sheep, but in that particular corner there, yeah, Lightblade absolutely flying, but very, very wide onto the curb there. They might get a slowdown penalty for that. That was all 4 wheels very briefly over the white lines there. Matty Cake saying it's Brno. Okay, right, Brno. It's just Brno, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry for the pronunciation wrong. I always thought it was Brno, and then I heard everyone calling it Bruno, so I jumped on that bandwagon and started calling it Bruno. As we see Lightblade getting a little bit out of shape there, and Demobi's going to look around the outside, but he's thought better of that one. He looked like he was going to try and make a move there, and in the end had to back off. But here we go, Lightblade holding on grimly. Demobi, championship leader, absolutely all over the back of him. He's got past Stealth Sheep, and now Demobi is eyeing up the lead of the race. Oh, it's BRNO. 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 Is it BRNO? Oh, for goodness sake. Come on, someone tell me the actual pronunciation. Is it BRNO? Seb, tell me yes or no. Is it BRNO? Yeah, Cole Houghton says great racing. It is very close racing. Thorsten Smith still just about holding on for P4 at the moment, but Uniclock's still right there. Bridge as in bridge, no as in BR as in bridge. Brno. Oh, for BR no. Okay, cool. Alright, BR no. So we've got Thorsten Smith here defending the position, and Bobby Dazzler's up the inside of Uniclark for P5. Brilliant move there from Bobby Dazzler. Upper position there, making amends for the qualifying session. But can Bobby Dazzler now focus his efforts here on Thorsten Smith, or is Uniclark going to fight back here as they come down the pit straight? This is going to be very, very close here as they come into turn one. Is he going to make a move here on the inside? Uniclark looking to fight back, and he's going to be late on the brakes. Bobby Dazzler's going to leave the door wide open, and our Mathis Winners up the inside. A little bit of contact there, banging doors there. It looks like he is up and back past him again. Uniclark, can he hold it around the outside, or is Bobby Dazzler going to get it back off of him again? I'm giving up on pronouncing the name of this track because I do not have a clue. These guys are giving me flack on the stream saying that I'm getting it all wrong. I'm fighting a losing battle here. In the meantime, looks like Bobby Dazzler just about holding on the position here from Uniclark for P5 in the background. Nakataru and Kembo looking very feisty in there and looking like they want to get involved in this as soon as these guys maybe come to blows. Maybe they're waiting for these guys to make a mistake. Demobi up into P1. He's got past Lightblade. Lightblade with the start of this race, but had the lead, had a second in hand over these guys. But Demobi has absolutely flown through. Started P5, is now P1 on lap 4. Our championship leader showing his class, and the pace that he's got in these touring cars is absolutely phenomenal. Our Bavarian driver is absolutely flying. Can Lightblade fight back here? Our debutant in the RubbingsRacing Tier 1 here as we come down this straight up towards this hairpin complex, and it looks like Lightblade's very late on the brakes there, and that will be, if he had made that move, that would have been a steward's inquiry, I'm absolutely certain. Looks like Lightblade's dropped position there. Stealth Sheep up into P2 very late, and opportunistic braking there from Lightblade. Looks like it hasn't come to anything. Thank goodness that these guys didn't end up in the wall or in the barriers or spun round, because that would have been an absolutely tears if that had happened. But it looks like we're as it was, apart from Stealth Sheep moving up a position there on Lightblade. Bobby Dazzler is up into P4 here ahead of Thorsten Smith. Thorsten Smith's got out of shape there down this back straight, and it looks like he might fall back into the clutches here of Uniclark. He has. Uniclark is up into P5. Thorsten Smith going backwards here on lap 4. Bobby Dazzler up in position. This will now release Bobby Dazzler into some clean air. And Seb says RR's better than Jimmy Broadbent. You're absolutely right, Seb. Cole Houghton, is damage on for this league? It is Cole Houghton, yes. It's the only league in RubbingsRacing in which full damage is on. So these guys have got to be very, very careful with all this banging wheels and stuff like that. Argy-bargy, it's going to have to be kept to a minimum here tonight. It looks like Bobby Dazzler is coming under increasing pressure now from Uniclark, our runner-up from last season's Tier 1 is looking very hungry for that position and has a little look to the inside there. Bobby Dazzler there, not taking the bait. Seb says his damage on sim or full. It's on. It's full damage for this league. So Demobi at the moment has the lead, 0.4 of a second here over Stealth Sheep. Stealth Sheep has done a good job here of getting back past Lightblade, and looks like Demobi holding the position, but these guys very close quarters, very evenly matched as well. We saw when Lightblade was leading this trio that there wasn't really much of a difference in pace, and we're seeing that whoever's leading this pack tends to be a bit of a sitting duck. We can see that these guys sort of clinging onto the slipstream here, and it's definitely one of those tracks where you kind of need a reference point when it helps when someone's running in front of you, you can really see where to brake and what lines to take. So whoever's leading the race in around this track certainly does have a disadvantage, and we're seeing that here, which whoever's leading at this trio does tend to be very, very backed up into whoever's behind them at the minute. So Demobi, Stealth Sheep and Lightblade, it's anyone's race here on lap 5 of 10 here for our sprint race for the RRTCC round 3 here at this track in the Czech Republic. In the background, Bobby Dazzler's pulled out a little bit of a gap here on Uni Clark. He's 1.3 seconds ahead. He's going to be released into some clear air. Let's see if he can put his foot down and close in on these leaders. If they start battling, he could be there to capitalise if they make a mistake of some kind. Demobi making us Germans proud. Seb, you've got about 5 different nationalities, mate. I don't know where you're from. Some days it's Spain, sometimes it's Germany, sometimes it's Belgium. I know you're multiple nationality, but it's hard to keep up with sometimes, mate. But anyway, back with our race leaders, it looks like Demobi is coming under increasing pressure now from Stealth Sheep. Very, very close here at bumper to bumper at the moment as they come through the S section here, turns 2 and 3. Matty Cake says this. Yeah, well, that's the way it is, mate. I can't keep up. And Seb says, oh, here we go. And it looks like Stealth Sheep's up the inside of Demobi on lap 6 here. Unbelievable. Looks like Demobi got a little bit out of shape there, and Stealth Sheep up into P1. So this is the day when the debutants in the Rubbings Racing's Tier 1 really did take it over. It looks like we got Stealth Sheep and Lightblade running on the podium spots at the moment. Seb says, when I get drafted by one country, I'm going to just switch. Cole Houghton, when will the TNL settings be announced for Thursday? Tonight, Cole. Tonight, after this race. I'm not going to repeat that comment that Seb just put on the stream, because that's I don't want to be encouraging that type of behaviour. Regardless, Uni Clark holding on ahead of Thorsten Smith, half a second here. Looks like Thorsten Smith's pulled back up onto him. Bobby Dazzler putting the gap to these guys and closing in on the front guys actually as well. Bobby Dazzler quicker than any of the top 3 last time around. So Bobby Dazzler on an absolute flyer at the moment. That's alright, Seb. It's not like it's inappropriate or majorly inappropriate. It's just I couldn't repeat it. I didn't want to even want to repeat that comment. It wasn't majorly issue. It wasn't a major issue with it. Kembo up the inside of that guitar dude here. These guys go side by side. Looks like he's going to make the move. These guys have been bumper to bumper for the last few laps, and it looks like our American is going to go round the outside. Can he hold the position, or is that going to go back up the inside? He is going to go up the inside. That guitar dude just about holding onto the position, but these guys still side by side. Kembo on the inside. That guitar dude on the outside. Out of the third to last corner here, and these guys still side by side. Brilliant racing from these guys. That guitar dude just about holding on for P7, but that Kembo definitely looking like he wants that position at the moment. In the meantime, battle for the lead. Stealth Sheep still holding on ahead of Demobi, and it looks like he's looking to the outside here of Demobi. Demobi's going to go defensive into turn 1. It looks like he's going to hold the position here, but Lightblade looking absolutely rapid here on the outside. Last time around, Bobby Dazzler not as quick. He's actually gone slower than our race leader Stealth Sheep on lap 6 of this race. And yep, Seb says Gibraltarian. That guitar dude, he's not actually Gibraltarian. He's not Spanish either, but unfortunately Project Cars had a bit of a mare for round 1 of this season, in which Seb was unfortunate enough to see that come up on his screen. It's great to see how Seb in our chat at the moment. Obviously was the commentator for round 1 of this season, you guys may remember on the channel. Give him a good shout out anyway. So looks like Stealth Sheep holding on just about here from Demobi. Lightblade looked like he was going to have them, and it looks like Stealth Sheep's got a penalty. Demobi's up the inside. Looks like Lightblade might be able to follow him through. He could go around the outside here. Stealth Sheep with a slowdown penalty evidently, and Demobi regains the race lead here on lap 7. We have got 3.5 laps left to go of our sprint race for the RRTCC round 3 here at Brno this evening. This is a fantastic race between these 3 guys, and while these guys battle it out, Bobby Dazzler is closing in on them. So far on this lap he's gained a second, so if these guys come into a tangle or have any kind of issues, Bobby Dazzler's going to be right there. Here they come, third to the last few corners of the lap. Cole Houghton says, I'm very excited for Thursday. I'm not sure if the Ferrari's quickest, but I think I'm going to choose it. Well, I think that the Corvette's probably the car of choice for the GTEs, Cole. But I'll let you figure that one out anyway. If anyone needs to set up for the Corvette, you know who to hit up for that one. So it looks like we've got... Let's have a look at see what Thorsten Smith's doing. Thorsten Smith's got a train of cars behind him. It looks like, oh no, sorry, it's Clark with the trainer cars behind him. Thorsten Smith, that guitar dude, and Kembo right up his chuff here. And Kembo's going to look to the outside here of that guitar dude. These guys have already gone wheel to wheel. Is it going to be round 2 here? Kembo on the outside. Looks like he's not close enough to make a move, but he's going to be very late on the brakes there, Kembo. And that guitar dude's going to have to be wary of him. But Kembo, in the end, pushed out wide. Didn't have the enough grip on the outside of that corner to hold the position. The Sebastian, well, this is not relevant to this particular race, so I'm not going to discuss that conversation, but it looks like the battle for the lead still rages on. Demobi, Stealth Sheep, Lightblade with a penalty in this one. Lightblade is going to have to get past both of these guys and pull a gap if he wants to win this sprint race, because he does have a penalty from the race director. Let's see what the nature of this penalty is. It's a 1 second penalty, so it's not too bad. If Lightblade can get past these guys and pull a gap of a second, Lightblade could still win this race. It's all up for grabs here. We have got 2 and a bit laps left to go here this evening. Cole Houghton says I'll probably be last, but I love the GTE, so it's a win in my eyes. Cole, at the end of the day, it's all about taking part here at Rubbings Racing. If you compete and you're there on the grid taking part and racing cleanly, you're just as much of a valuable member to Rubbings Racing as anybody here in this community. One of the best communities on the PlayStation 4 platform. Don't worry about pace, that's not the issue, that's not something we're worried about. At the end of the day, if you're a clean driver, you're respectful, then that's everything we need from you. And in the meantime, we've got Clark here going at it here with Thorsten Smith for P5. Very, very close here in quarters at the moment. Uni just about holding on ahead of Thorsten, that guitar dude, and Kembo looking very close here behind these guys. There's a train of 4 cars here for 5th place at the moment, but Clark is leading it and doing a good job at the minute. Bobby Dazda, in the meantime, closing the gap on the leaders, but it looks like it might be too little too late at this point in the race. He's got a 4 second gap here to overhaul on Demobi, and he's left it a bit too late, I would say, in this one. Demobi is leading this trio as per the most of this race, but Stealth Sheep still right there. 0.3 of a second separate these guys as they come up the back straight towards the top of the hill and the last couple of corners. It's been a fantastic race here at Brno. Sebastian says, come on Demobi. His fellow countryman is doing the job here at the moment, and Sebastian making no secret of who he's backing here as we come into the final 2 laps. The penultimate lap about to start here for our sprint race here at Brno for our Rubbings Racing's Touring Car Championship round 3 here this evening. It looks like Stealth Sheep there having a look in the mirrors of Demobi, trying to distract our German into a mistake. Our championship leader having absolutely none of that. Is holding his position, holding firm, and not being tricked into a mistake or any kind of issues here in this one. It looks like Stealth Sheep looking to the inside here of Demobi. Is he going to go for a move? Is he going to chance a dive bomb up the inside? Demobi goes a little bit wide there, and Stealth Sheep's going to seize the opening here. Demobi leaving the door wide open. He's going to look to the outside here. He's going to go side by side. It looks like Demobi's got the inside for the time being. Is this going to allow Lightblade to get in the mix? It looks like he's going to put alongside here. Stealth Sheep, no. He just about stays here far enough in front of him there. Stealth Sheep just about had a car's length, and he exercised that car's length to keep in front of him, and Demobi's got a little bit out of shape. That's going to allow Stealth Sheep to come up the inside, and Lightblade moves up into P2. Stealth Sheep goes very, very wide there, and this is going to allow Lightblade to pull right onto the back of Demobi. Remember, Lightblade has a penalty. This is going to drop him back once we get over the finish line to complete the race. Demobi leading the race, Lightblade second. Stealth Sheep, what's happened on this lap? He's dropped way back, and this could potentially have put pay to his chances of winning in his debut in the RRTCC Tier 1 here at Brno round 3. Thank you everybody for joining us on the stream. Cole Houghton says, come on Lightblade. He's in second place. He needs to get past Demobi now if he wants to win this race. He has to pull a gap of a second if he wants to win here in this sprint race. Lightblade with the 1 second penalty. These guys, Demobi and Stealth Sheep, without penalties. And Lightblade's got it all to do. Pulls to the outside of Demobi. Demobi holding the position on the inside as they come into the last couple of corners now. But Demobi is about to, in a few corners time, start the last lap. These guys have been battling it out for this entire race. In the background here, Bobby Dazda's still closing on these guys, but it looks like it's going to be too late for Bobby Dazda to make an impression. And Lightblade's going to go for a dive up the inside, and there's contact between these two guys. It looks like Lightblade, Stealth Sheep and Demobi all go side by side, and Stealth Sheep's into the lead. Unbelievable here as we're going into the last lap now. Stealth Sheep takes the lead. Our debutant in the Tier 1 of the Rubbings Racing's Touring Car Championship has the lead of the race, and we're on the last lap now. Demobi, can he fight back? Lightblade with a penalty. It's down in 3rd place. It looks like Lightblade is out of the running. Cole Houghton will be very disappointed with that. but Stealth Sheep, Demobi, P1 and 2, this is it, the final lap of the sprint race here for round 3 of the RRTCC. Fantastic racing from these guys. Can Stealth Sheep win in his first ever race in Tier 1? Or is Demobi going to spoil his party here? Our championship leader looking very, very aggressive here. And he's right in the mirrors of Stealth Sheep. He's going to try and pressure him into a mistake. Try and trick him into messing it up here with the final half a lap here to go at Brno. Fantastic racing. This has been non-stop action here from our top 3 here this evening. And in the meantime, Bobby Dazzler showed fantastic pace in the second half of this race. And I'm sure that he will be there in the feature. We'll have another qualifying session before that one. Demobi's looked to the inside here. Stealth Sheep holding on at the moment. They're going to go side by side here, and he's going to allow him to put alongside our championship leader that wants the victory. He took a clean sweep of victories and pole positions in our last round at Hockenheim. He's not going to ruin that lovely run that he's got going at the moment, but Stealth Sheep, our rookie in the RRTCC, looks like he's going to do it here. We've got just under half a lap to go here at Brno. We're going to come into the final few corners now. Stealth Sheep, what a job. Was running 3rd in the point standings in Tier 2, our Clio Cup, for this season so far. And got the call up actually this afternoon to say, look, do you want to join Tier 1? Jump in, have a fast track into our Premier Division of touring cars. And he said, yes, please. I will take that with open arms. And he's got the lead in this race at the moment, in the sprint race. But can Demobi fight back as we come into literally the last 2 corners now? Stealth Sheep's going to go defensive as they come into the penultimate corner. Demobi's going to have to go around the long way if he wants to get this done. Stealth Sheep looking a little bit shaky here into the final turn, around the final corner now. It's going to be a drag to the line, but it looks like Stealth Sheep's going to do it as they come over the line to complete the sprint race. Stealth Sheep takes the victory. Demobi second place. Lightblade in the end drops off of these guys, finishes in 3rd, completes the podium. Bobby Dazzler showed fantastic pace and in the end finished 4th. He's going to I'm sure we'll see something from him in the feature. Uni Clark completes the top 5. Thorsten Schmidt in 6th. That guitar dude holds on from Kembo in 7th place. Grandad Stee is going to finish in 9th position. Lion's Foot is coming through the final corner to complete the top 10 here. And the console has had an absolute mare in this sprint race. We've said in the build up to this, he doesn't seem to have it in the sprint races, but we always see an improvement from Alex in the feature race. He's won several of the feature races that we've had in the RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship in its season and a half history, as Alex exits the final corner now to complete the race. But what a race there. Congratulations to Stealth Sheep there for taking the win in his debut in the RRTCT Tier 1. And congratulations also to Demobi and Lightblade on a fantastic drive there. Really, these guys putting on a wonderful show. We will see you very, very shortly for qualifying for the feature race. We'll be about 5 minutes or so. These guys are going to take a quick break and we'll get that underway ASAP. See you guys very shortly. Welcome back everybody to RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. I'm Andy. We're back here for qualifying for our feature race here this evening for round 3 here at Brno. We're currently riding with that guitar dude who we saw having a good battle there in the sprint race with Kembo 76. That guitar dude has won a couple of races in the RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Actually took the feature race in round 1 at Alton Park this season. It was in changeable conditions. He had an absolute masterstroke of bringing it into pits at just the right time. As soon as the rain came down, he was there to capitalise, brought it in, and we saw won the race in the end very comfortably, and was actually won it despite a penalty even. So that was a hell of a drive there from that guitar dude. He's driving the Mild 7 livery there in the Renault Megane, and we saw this last season actually as well. He's doing a good job here this evening. We saw obviously with that battle with Kembo, did a good job to keep Kembo behind him. We saw Kembo was absolutely hassling the back of him for most of that race. The battle in the mid pack was absolutely fantastic, and we're hoping for more of the same. We saw Kembo involved in that, Uni Clark, Bobby Dazzler eventually cleared those guys in that one as well. I'm expecting Grandad Steed to be in the thick of it this time as well as Lion's Foot. But we'll have to see how it pans out anyway. Thorsten Schmidt as well was doing a good job in that race. Now let's see who's furthest up on the track. Let's pull up RS Dash, have a look at what's going on. Sorry, I shouldn't really be promoting stuff like that on our stream. So currently fastest first sector and fastest middle sector of the session, Kembo 76, our American from Pennsylvania, absolutely flying as he comes out of the last corner now, or not the last corner, this is actually the second or third to last corner even. Demobi on the track just ahead of him, looks like the console is coming through the final corner in the foreground here. Is that the console? It is indeed. The console is going to be one of the first people to set a lap time. Smithy first over the line, that's a 2:08.2 from Smithy. The console comes out of the final corner. What's it going to be for Alex here on his opening run for the feature race qualifying? It's a 2:08.8, P2 for the console. Demobi goes fastest with a 2:08.2. What is Kembo going to do? It looks like Kembo's been invalidated, so Kembo's lap time is not going to count. I'm very unfortunate there for Kembo. So Demobi currently sitting atop of the timing sheets, just 0.04 of a second there ahead of Smithy at the moment. Very close between these guys in qualifying for our feature race here this evening. Brilliant to see the guys so close and so evenly matched. Demobi and Smithy, we know, always go at it. It's always very close between these two. And Lightblade now pushes his car to the top of the timing sheets for provisional pole position here for this feature race. These guys dipping into the 2:07s here, and we saw in qualifying last time the pole time for the sprint race was a 2:07.8. So Lightblade still with a little bit of time to find here in this session. We've got 4 minutes to go in our feature race qualifying session. Let's try and talk about some of the guys that we've missed out so far in this one, and try and give these guys some airtime. So let's have a look. So let's see what Tuggy Bear's up to. Tuggy Bear's in the pits. Right, let's have a look and see what Lecky's doing. Lecky is our coordinator for the RRTCC. He's 34, from Manchester in England. He's the host of this division. He's an IT and systems web development worker, and he prides himself on driving the car like he stole it. Lecky's got bags of talent and bags of pace. And he's also one of the masterminds of RubbingsRacing. He's actually the creator of the website, which is coming very, very soon, www.rubbingsracing.co.uk, as we see a little bit of slide there from Lecky playing for the cameras. We know that Lecky's also a bit of an expert at drifting. We saw last night in in what's now known as Monday Club in RubbingsRacing. We saw him, there we go, oh, it's beautiful, unbelievable. Lecky there with the style, switching it on here in qualifying. He's forgetting all about the driving and going for the fancy driving here. Nice to see this. It's a track where you can do that as well. Brno is riddled with hairpins, and it's just very, very nice to see Lecky switching on the style here. It's very close at the front, ladies and gentlemen. 19 thousandths of a second between Lightblade and Demobi here. Demobi currently on the front row, but not pole position in this one. We saw him qualify 5th for the sprint race, which was out of sorts for Demobi, and in the end finished 2nd. Win a fantastic battle between himself, Stealth Sheep and Lightblade. We saw Demobi had the race in his grasp with a lap and a half to go, but Stealth Sheep with the move coming into the second to last corner just before the start of the last lap, and Stealth Sheep in the end, our debutant in the tier 1, holding on for the victory. Let's see what you guys are telling us. Oh, Lightblade there, even faster. He's done a 2:07.6. That is absolutely fantastic there from Lightblade. Our Welshman here, also another debutant in the league. So we've had one debutant take a win here this evening in round 3. Could it be another newbie taking the win and showing these seasoned veterans how it's done? Lightblade at the moment, provisional pole position for the time being in this session. Let's see what these guys are saying on the YouTube channel. Cole Houghton says, is there a big difference in cars in this league, or are they all quite a similar pace? Well, Cole, the thing is that near enough everyone is in the Renault Megane, so it wouldn't really matter anyway. But having said that though, Thorsten Smith, our man currently sitting in P7, who did a very solid job in the sprint race, is driving the BMW, and this BMW, if he can get this high up the grid, will have a good chance in the race, because this thing gets off the grid absolutely phenomenally. Literally, you see BMW, if you hook the BMW up at the start, you're gaining 4 or 5 places off the line on the Renaults. That's how good it is off the line. The acceleration is an absolute. It's like when you're on a roller coaster and you've got a hydraulic launch. You know what those are like. It's basically like that. It's a hell of a starter. So Thorsten Smith at the moment is our sole non-Renault in the grid at the moment. What's Bobby Dazzler doing? Bobby Dazzler's come over the line. He's currently P6 at the moment. We saw towards the end of the sprint race he was absolutely flying, lapping faster than the top three, and I think he may have got the fastest lap of the race in the last. I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't. Don't quote me on that because I might be talking rubbish. But he was very, very quick anyway at the tail end of the feature race. We're expecting good things from Bobby Dazzler here in our feature race. We're expecting a improved performance from the sprint race. A little bit of a lock up there as he comes through that hairpin. I mean, they're all hairpins. But here he comes in, Bobby Dazzler on a lap. We'll keep an eye on him and see how this one progresses. Lightblade pits from pole position, so Lightblade thinks he's done enough to sit at the front of the grid here for this feature race. Kembo still out there on a lap time at the moment. He's 0.6 of a second off the session best at the moment. I'm right, thanks. Sorry, thank you anyway though. Alright, cheers. That's my uncle there offering me a poppadom. I can't eat it at the moment. It wouldn't be appropriate to chew that on the stream. So thank you anyway.
2 poppadoms.
Can I have 2?
There's 2 there.
Oh, thank you. Right, so Kembo currently P3 in the session at the moment, 0.6 off of pole position, and he's coming around the last half a lap here. Can Kembo upset the odds and put his car on the front row here ahead of either Lightblade or Demobi, or maybe even both of them? You never know. Kembo has had a disappointing season so far in the RRTCC. The first 2 rounds have really put pay to his chances of taking the championship this season. He was 3rd last year, had the chance of winning the championship until the very last race. But nevertheless, he's got lots of pace in these cars, bags of talent, and let's see what he can do as he comes into the final part of this lap. The penultimate corner for Kembo, oh no, sorry, the 4th to last corner for Kembo. I keep getting those 2 mixed up because the penultimate S section is literally identical to the final corner. But it looks like Kembo's given up on that one. He's bailed out of that attempt. So Kembo is done for this session. What's Stealth Sheep going to do? Stealth Sheep currently P6 in qualifying. He's got a car right behind him. And in fact, no, he's the one behind. So Stealth Sheep here is going to have the benefit a little bit of slipstream as he comes into the penultimate corner here. He's going to get plenty of run out of this final corner. Is this going to be enough for pole position for Stealth Sheep, or is he going to get held up here? No, he's going to get the massive advantage here as he comes over the line. Stealth Sheep, what's it going to be? It's going to be 3rd place for Stealth Sheep. It's going to be Lightblade who lines up on pole position. The 3rd, 4th and 5th separated by 15 thousandths of a second. Where's Bobby Dazzler? Bobby Dazzler has given up on pole position. Is that Guitar Dude's still on a lap? No, that Guitar Dude's given up as well. So I think this is it. We're all set for qualifying for our feature race. Lightblade on pole position. Demobi will line up alongside him on the front row. Then we've got Stealth Sheep, Kembo and Smithy separated by virtually nothing. Smithy in the end shafted down to P5 right at the death of that session. The console lines up alongside him on the 3rd row, and then in 7th position we got Bobby Dazzler. Uni Clark lines up alongside him. Lecky and Grandad Stee, 2 guys who were very experienced and very quick in the touring cars, line up in a lowly 9th and 10th. Then we got that Guitardo, Thorsten Smith in the BMW. We're expecting him to make some gains off the line. Lionsfoot and Tuggy Bear round off the back row. We're almost ready to get going for our feature race, guys. We're going to retire and spectate. We're going to watch this from the view of the trackside and see what these guys are looking like on the grid. Let's hope that everyone can get their ready buttons clicked properly at the start of this race, and no one misses the start this time. We've got 14 guys here on the grid for our feature race. We've got a star-studded touring car lineup. These guys, some of the best touring car racers on the PlayStation 4 platform. Guys, if you're interested in joining their ranks, go to www.RubbingsRacing.co.uk and sign up to our leagues. Become a part of the Rubbings Racing League and join our Discord. Get involved. It's one of the best places to get involved in authentic sim racing in the world. So be sure to sign up and get yourselves involved in that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost about to get going for our feature race. We have got, starting on pole position, Lightblade in his debut in the Rubbings Racing Touring Car Traffic this evening. Demobi alongside him, Stealth Sheep and Kembo behind these guys, and lights are out, we're underway. Spazix, oh, it looks like a fantastic start there from, I think, 7th or 8th place there from Uni Clark. He's right on the inside there, got off the line brilliantly. He's already up into 5th place there on the inside. Can he make some positions here? Oh, the inside line looks like he might have to back out of that one, but on the outside here, Lightblade holding on to turn 1. Demobi on the inside, looks like we've got Stealth Sheep, Uni Clark, Smithy, Kembo losing places up the start. He's dropped 2 places straight straight away. Disastrous start from Kembo here. We're in the background there. Thorsten Smith's gained 3 places off the line. The console, what's happened? He's dropped 2 places off the line. That guitar dude in 9th position. Lucky hold positions off the start. Lions Foot, Bobby Dazza, Tuggy, and Grandad Steve down a position at the on the first lap. Lightblade leads the way. Demobi not letting him go though. You can see Demobi hassling the back of him. Uniclark's up into P3. We saw him get off the line absolutely brilliantly, and he's gained a couple more positions here in the next couple of corners. So Uniclark, our man from Swindon, runner up last season, doing a brilliant job straight away. Although is Stealth Sheep going to go look for a move back up the inside here? It looks like he is. Stealth Sheep here alongside Uniclark. It looks like he's going to have the inside for the next corner. So Stealth Sheep does take the position here. Stealth Sheep, the winner in the sprint race, just about holding on maybe for P3. Although Uniclark's still right there. Uniclark is going to hold it on the inside. Brilliant racing from these guys. Very clean, very fair and respectful from the two of them. Matty Cake says map and speedo on. Yes sir, right away. So at the moment, Demobi is hassling the back of Lightblade. Uniclark just about holding on here from Stealth Sheep. Is Stealth Sheep going to have another look? He's trying to distract him in the mirrors here, but Smithy all over the back of Stealth Sheep as well. Here is Smithy pulling to the outside, and he's going to try on the outside of Stealth Sheep. Very late on the brakes to Smithy. Can he hold it, or is Stealth Sheep going to push him out wide and run him out of road? It looks like Smithy's still got the inside line, and Smithy is going to have the inside for the next corner. Smithy is up in position. Stealth Sheep going backwards. Terrible start from Stealth Sheep here on the first lap here for our feature race for round 3 of the RRTCC here at Brno. What's going on here with these guys in the background here? Console just ahead of Kembo. Kembo has dropped 3 places on this opening lap. Disastrous start from our Pennsylvanian, our American here, and he's been passed by, it looks like, oh yeah, he's just been overtaken there by Stealth. Well, no, Stealth Sheep is going backwards as well by the looks of it, but the console there round the outside of Kembo. Next up for console will be Stealth Sheep, who has had an absolutely awful first lap here. The Lightblade leads the way. He's got 0.8 of a second here on Demobi. He's almost pulled out of the second gap, but looks like Demobi's not going to let this one go without a fight. Our championship leader coming into this round, I believe, are still our championship leader after the sprint race as well. And Smithy here knows that he's got to get some positions gained and get onto the back of Demobi if he wants any chance of keeping that gap respectable in the championship. Currently it was 15 points coming into this race, and obviously with not starting the sprint race, he knows that now his championship hopes are almost in ruin. He should be about 40 odd points behind Demobi at this stage in the season, but you never know what can happen. One bad round for Demobi and it's all back in the balance again. But Lightblade at the moment holding off Demobi, our championship leader, 0.9 of a second. Lightblade doing a fantastic job. In the meantime, it looks like Stealth Sheep's gained position here on the console. He's moved back up, and Smithy has got past Uniclark for P3. So Smithy here on a charge here. He's up into P3. He's now going to be able to chase down Lightblade and Demobi unless the Uniclark can fight back here on lap 2 here at the moment. It looks like in the background there we've got Stealth Sheep coming under some pressure here from the console. Alex is absolutely hassling him. We know Alex always good in the feature races. We've seen before he always puts in a hell of a shift, and the console is up into P5. So Stealth Sheep here continues this terrible start of his, and Kembo is now looking to the inside here of Stealth Sheep as well, but he's not going to make that move. Looks like Stealth Sheep's going to push to the outside here of the console, but the console has got the move done. So the console definitely up into P6. Stealth Sheep here is going to find himself open to an attack here from Kembo, who's going to look to the outside. Kembo is very late on the brakes. Can he hold it around the outside? It looks like he can. Oh, they're going to go side by side. It looks like Kembo's going to have the inside, but Stealth Sheep with a much better run out of the last corner is going to have the position here held on to just about. That guitar dude also got a fantastic exit out of that corner, and maybe might be able to have a go here at Kembo. It looks like he does. So Kembo down 2 positions there, but he's going to try and go very late on the brakes. Looks like he can't hold it. That guitar dude is up in position into P7. Lightblade stretching out the gap. He's got 1.4 seconds here on our championship leader Demobi. Demobi knows that he'll be extending the gap to his nearest pursuers if he can stay in second spot, but I'm sure the racer inside of him will want to get that position back as soon as he can. Currently we're on lap 3 here of our feature race, which is an 11 lap race with a mandatory pit stop just to throw another element into the works and make it a little bit more interesting for the guys at home watching live on stream. Thank you to everybody watching on YouTube here on the RubbingsRacing channel. If you're interested in joining RubbingsRacing, just go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk and get yourselves involved in the most authentic sim racing experience on the PlayStation 4 platform. In the meantime, Smithy seems to have shaken off the challenge here of Uniclark and has released himself into some clean air. He can now close a little bit on Demobi and maybe damage limitation here for Smithy in this round. If he can get himself ahead of Demobi in this race, then he will potentially limit the extension of that championship lead that Demobi is going to get for this particular round. Cole Houghton says, good first few laps, the Lightblade, keep it up. The Lightblade doing a hell of a job here. This, remember, is his debut in the TC1 here this season. He was racing in the Clio Cup, actually was leading the Clio Cup Championship, made the decision to make the leap up into the top tier. It was a decision that he had chose to make. He thought, I'm going to go for it, might as well give it a chance, and he's taken this league by absolute storm. There were questions over whether he was ready for the leap, but he's absolutely responded to those in the best possible way, and he's, as you can see, doing a Lewis Hamilton here in the Touring Car Championship. Comes straight in and is already at the top of the tree. He has got a penalty though in this race. He's got a 2-second penalty, and his lead at the front is 1.6 seconds. So Cole, we're going to keep an eye on that as it develops. Let's hope that Lightblade doesn't accumulate any more penalties in this race, otherwise he will find himself open to being overtaken by Demobi by virtue of the race director penalties. And it looks like we've got Smithy into the pit, so Smithy is the first to blink here in this feature race. It looks like Thorsten Schmidt might have already been in as well. I'm not sure if Lecky has, so we're looking at the timing screens there, but I think Lecky and Thorsten Schmidt may have already been in for their mandatory pit stops. So Smithy into the pit lane. What's Lightblade doing? He's currently 1.4 seconds, which as it stands would not be enough by the end of the race, but there's a long way to go in this feature race. 8 laps left to go. It's an 11 lap race here at Brno for the feature race here for round 3 of the RRTCC RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Thank you to everybody for joining us live on the stream. It looks like the console here is coming under increasing pressure now from Stealth Sheep. Stealth Sheep's looking to stay outside here, and in the meantime it looks like Kembo's getting involved in this one as well, and Kembo's going to go three wide here. Looks like the console's got it on the inside. Stealth Sheep there, and Dakitadu is going to get involved in this action as well. Can Bobby Dazzler put his nose in the action? Bobby Dazzler had an excellent second half to the sprint race in the last one, but it so far in this one hasn't really got it going, and these guys in the background 3 wide here. It looks like Kembo's going to hold on to that position ahead of that Katana and Bobby Dazzler for now. That console just in front here of Stealth Sheep, and in the background there it looks like we're getting position change again. Then Kembo's gone very wide. Kembo onto the gravel. He's going to lose lots of positions and lots of time in the process there. It looks like Bobby Dazzler's got past him, and Lionsfoot's going to pull right onto the back of our American driver as well there. Disaster for Kembo. He's going to lose a bit of time there, and he's going to have to catch up to these guys all over again by the looks of it. In the meantime here, it looks like the console is pulled out half a second here on Stealth Sheep, but Stealth Sheep, we know he's got the pace in this one, and can these guys get it together and start closing on the leaders here? It looks like the Lightblade and Demobi have got too much in hand over the rest of the pack at this stage in the race. Uni Clark driving all by himself here in a sort of limbo in the middle of these guys, but the console will be eyeing up that 3rd position. The console will want this podium position here in this feature race. The console currently 3rd in the championship going into this race, will drop points to Demobi in this one by virtue of Demobi finishing 2nd in the sprint race and flying high once again in this feature race. But Alex will know that he can keep his prominent position in the championship standings with a podium here in this feature race. Stealth Sheep is dropping off the back of the console here, so it looks like the console with the pace, and he is into the pit, so Alex pulls in for his mandatory stop. So he'll be looking to get the undercut here on these guys around him, and maybe pull onto the back of Uniclark, potentially get ahead of him by the time our man from Swindon comes into the pit lane. We'll have to wait and see how this one develops. Looks like Lightblade has got a gap of almost 2 seconds now on Demobi, so Cole, it looks like he's going to pull out the gap and try and get enough in hand to actually take the win by the time he crosses the line, but obviously it's a long race to go. We're not even halfway through this feature race here yet, and let's just check the penalty screen just to make sure he hasn't accrued any more penalties at this stage in the race. So Lightblade at the moment in the box seat. Demobi's made a mistake. Demobi's dropped right back off. What has happened to Demobi here? He's falling back into the clutches here of Uniclark. Uniclark can see our German in front of him now, and Sebastian will be absolutely gutted to see his compatriot here struggling here on lap 5. I'm not sure what happened there, but Demobi must have had an off, maybe an excursion or a run over the curb, maybe a half spin or something, but he's dropped 3 seconds here, or 3 more seconds should I say. He's now 5 seconds off of our race leader. Demobi in the wars here this evening, and Uni Clark here can see him in his sights. He'll have slipstream here coming into the last part of this lap. In the meantime, Stealth Sheep just in front here of Bobby Dazzler, but Bobby Dazzler right on the back of him now. Cole Houghton says, keep it clean now, Lightblade. Lightblade, you've heard your instructions. There's the brief. Just keep it going. All you've got to do, mate, is just get it to the line. But easier said than done. These cars, very difficult to control sometimes, especially around Brno, where it's so technical. You've got lots of braking zones, hairpins, and there's a lot of opposite a lot going on when you're coming around some of these corners. But Lightblade, as long as he keeps it together, should have this one. But he's got 5 seconds and a long way to go in this race. Stealth Sheep holding on here from Bobby Dazzler, but Bobby Dazzler absolutely hassling the back of him. And Stealth Sheep, for whatever reason, not able to match the pace that we saw in the sprint race. Don't know if he's got damage on that car or something, but the Davyton in the Tier 1 definitely struggling compared to what we saw in the sprint race. Lightblade comes over the line to complete lap 5. That was a 209.1 there from Lightblade. What's Demoby doing? This is going to be a considerably slower lap time here for Demoby. 2:13. He lost 4 seconds on that lap alone. In the background there we can see Dakitadu pulling into the pit lane. Stealth Sheep and Uniclark already in their boxes. So these guys are going to try the undercut on the guys around them. Bobby Dazzler, Demoby and Lightblade of the lead pack are the ones who are still out there. Lion's Foot's going to chance it and try and get his foot down. Try and make some gains here. Try and get the overcut on the guys who have brought it in early. So it looks like we've got... so all the guys from Stealth Sheep downwards have been in fact, all the guys from Smithy downwards have been into the pits already. So... Smithy, the highest running of the guys who have been into the pits. Then Stealth Sheep, we've got the Console, Uniclark, Lakatadu, Kembo, Lucky, Grandad Stee, Thorsten Smith and Tuggy Bear. And obviously the top 3 guys, in fact the top 4 guys, sorry, still yet to bring it in. So if you're just joining us on the stream, top 4 have not pitted, 5th to 14th have all been in for their mandatory stops. So that is the pecking order here for this evening. So the top 4 have all been in, haven't been in, and 5th to 14th have all been in. So that is how it is at the moment. Matty Cake says Smithy used the wrong pit entry and probably gained 2 or 3 seconds. Well, that could be a potential issue, but Matty Cake there exposing maybe a potential breach of the regulations here. Cole Houghton says, if the number is red, does that mean they have a penalty? Yes, Cole, it does indeed. We'll have a look at those actually and have a look and see who's got what. So Lightblade with a 2-second penalty, we already knew about that. Lion's Foot has picked up a 1-second penalty somewhere out on this race. Kembo with a 1-second penalty. Lecky will drop 2 seconds when he crosses the line to complete this race. So Lightblade 6 seconds in hand. Demoby still dropping time to our race leader at the moment, our championship leader, struggling to keep up with our debutant here. Cole Houghton, one of Lightblade's friends, very active here in the chat this evening and voicing his support for his friend, for his mate here. And Lightblade doing a brilliant job in our feature race. Is he into the pits? He's just dropped a lot of time. Yes, he is. Lightblade in for his mandatory stop. Demoby is going to stay out for at least a couple more laps here in our feature race. But Bobby Dazzler also coming out of the last corner to stay out for a couple more laps. What's Lion's Foot doing? Lion's Foot's into the pits. So the only 2 guys to not come in now are Demoby and Bobby Dazzler. Where's Lightblade going to come out in relation to Smithy? Smithy coming out of the last corner now. Is he going to stay ahead of Smithy? It looks like Lightblade's come out of his box here. Smithy is coming down the pit straight. Coming over the line now. It looks like... it's going to be close. Smithy here coming over the line now to complete the that lap, and it looks like Smithy has done it. Smithy is taken Lightblade here, so this is an extraordinary development. Could Smithy potentially be on for the race win here? He's managed to get in front of Lightblade. Can Lightblade fight? Lightblade's got the 2-second penalty. So Smithy with an absolute masterstroke in this race. Made the strategy work. He's done the undercut. Finds himself 2 seconds in front of the net race of who I thought would have been the net race leader. So this is absolutely fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. Smithy now has got what is, I think, the net race lead. Cole Houghton says Smithy did the undercut. Well, I believe he did. Anyway, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Matty Cake says Smithy used the wrong pit entry, and yeah, so Matty Cake reckons that Smithy definitely used a shortcut on the entry to the pit lane. So this will be a steward's investigation that I think will rage on to the second half of this week here at RubbingsRacing. Stay tuned, we'll bring you updates on this for next week, I'm certain. But in the meantime here, Demobi's got a 2-second lead over Bobby Dazzler at the front of the field. These guys still yet to come in for their mandatory stop. When they do, Smithy and Lightblade will assume P1 and 2. Stealth Sheep is going to be pretty close with these guys as well. But at the moment here, it looks like Lionsfoot and Lecky very close on the track. What's going on between Lionsfoot and Lecky? Lionsfoot with a penalty. I thought Lecky had a 2-second penalty, but it wasn't him. It was that guitar dude that had the penalty. I was looking at the wrong little number there, but it looks like Lionsfoot here coming under increasing pressure now from our RRTCC coordinator, moderator on our Rubbings Racing Discord here, Lecky, and Lecky's getting increasingly large in our Welshman's mirrors here. He's going to look to the inside, try and distract him a little bit, but Lionsfoot not having any of it at the moment. Lionsfoot cuts the corner on the inside. Lecky's going to go for the exit here. He's going to get a lovely run coming out onto this back straight up towards the second to last corner here. Is he going to make a move? Lionsfoot goes defensive to the inside. Lecky to the outside here, pulls to the right hand side. Can Lecky go around the outside here of this corner? It looks like Lionsfoot's let him through. Lionsfoot lets Lecky through, lets that guitar dude through. Lionsfoot not looking to fight these guys here, maybe with a slow down penalty perhaps. But there we go. So he basically waves them through essentially. Demobi's come into the pits and he is re-emerged in 7th position. So the overcut here, definitely not the way to go. We've seen Kembo there go past him as well. So Demobi down to P8, a championship leader, struggling here in this one. Smithy's going to gain absolutely bags of points here in the standings for the RRTCC. Demobi, what has happened here? This has gone terribly wrong for our championship leader, our German driver. He had a clean sweep of 2 pole positions, 2 race victories last week at Hockenheim. It's not worked out the same this time around, unfortunately, for Demobi, but still running P8. Can he make some positions here in the final couple of laps? There is 5 seconds separates between 3rd and 8th place here in the race at the moment. Lecky's going to be closing onto the back of Demobi now. Can Lecky, I'm sure, senses that top 8 position here in our feature race. But Smithy currently leading the way. He's got 1.6 seconds here over Lightblade. We've got 3.5 laps to go in our feature race here for the RRTCT. Thank you all guys for watching us on the stream. Thank you for your comments. Matty Cake says, I've done it. You need to practice entering the pits too. Well, Matty didn't get a penalty for it, so we'll have to cross-reference it with the rules and regulations and figure out if Smithy's done anything wrong. Potentially he hasn't broken any rules. If he hasn't broken any rules, he's not going to get penalised for it. So this one open to debate, and I'm sure that the stewards will be having a look at what you've just raised. But at the moment, Smithy with a 1-second lead here over Lightblade. Lightblade with a 2-second penalty. If Lightblade wants to win this race, he's not only got to get past Smithy, but he's also got to pull a 2-second gap on him as well. So Lightblade's going to have an absolutely flyer end to this race if he wants to take the win here in our feature race. In the background, what is going on here with Stealth Sheep? He's falling back into the clutches now. Bobby Dazzler, once again, once he gets going, gets it absolutely flying. It takes him a few laps really to get into full swing. We've seen in most of these races this season that in the second half of these races he is absolutely on it. But unfortunately the start don't seem to be very kind to him. As we come over the line to complete lap 8 here, we've got 3 laps to go here at Brno for our feature race, and it looks like Bobby Dazzler trying to distract him in the mirrors here. Is he going to go for a move? This is for the final podium spot. Stealth Sheep, the winner of our sprint race this evening. This is his first ever race, or first ever round should I say, in the RRTCT Tier 1. He's done a brilliant job so far. Can he get a double podium here in his debut? Matty Cake says rules, it's the final corner out, definite advantage. Well, Matty, we'll have to cross-reference it with the rules, as I say, to figure out if he's done anything wrong. Bobby Dazzler up the inside. Bobby Dazzler up into P3. Can Stealth Sheep fight back? It looks like Bobby Dazzler is on to the final podium spot here. Stealth Sheep going backwards here in the final few laps. He's going to find himself open to the attack here from the console and Uniclark, who are both closing in on him. In the background there, Kembo getting very wide onto the curb, just about holding it together there. Almost spelt disaster. You could see that car was getting ready to wobble, but just about keeping it on the grey stuff for now. Matty Cake says Light will have him. Talking about Smithy, well, yeah, but Matty, Light's got a penalty. Light has a 2-second penalty, so not only does he have to pass him, he has to pull out the gap as well. And to be fair to Smithy, he's doing a hell of a job. Smithy holding the gap, he's keeping it at just over a second to Lightblade. So at the minute, as it stands, Smithy is going to take the race win. And he does not have a penalty. He did not get penalised by the game for his pit entry. So whatever he did, it's open to interpretation as to what we can do with this. So at the end of the day, he hasn't broken any rules. We can't penalise him. Smithy, with the race lead, has driven a fantastic race in this one. Finds himself with the race lead. Got the undercut. got his foot down on his laps out of the pits and has done the job brilliantly. He's got 9/10 here to Lightblade. We've got just over 2 laps left to go in our feature race. It's going to be a hell of a battle, I'm absolutely certain. If Lightblade wants to win the race, he has to get past Smithy and pull a 2-second gap with his penalty taken into account. What's going on in the battle here for 4th place? It looks like Uni Clark's going to go up the inside here of Console, and Uni Clark is up into P5. Good move there. You can see the tyres go absolutely flying as he goes wham into the bollard there on the inside. But Uni Clark up in position. He's going to look up the inside here of Self Sheep now as they come down the pit straight. They're going to go side by side as they come over the line. It looks like Stealth Sheep has lost another position here to Uni Clark. Yes, he has. Teammates driving the same livery there, Stealth Sheep and Uni Clark. But Uni up a position. Can the Console follow him through here? Console there had to back out of that one. You could see almost alongside Stealth Sheep there. But in the end, knew there was going to be contact if he didn't get off the gas just a little bit. But there's very, very close quarters between these guys. In the meantime, the battle for the lead. Very, very close. Smithy, 0.4 of a second here to Lightblade. Lightblade, we know, doesn't just have to get past him. He has to pull out a gap as well. So it looks like Smithy at the moment in the box seat. And with it all to lose, though, I'm saying that, though. But at the moment, Smithy with the race lead. Lightblade's going to be absolutely pushing it. A lap and a half here to go in our feature race here for RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Cole Houghton says, come on, Lightblade is very close, but he's got to do a hell of a job now if he wants to win this race. Not only has he got to get past our race leader, Smithy, currently 2nd in the championship, but he's also got to pull out 2 seconds in 1 lap. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a hell of a feat if he's able to do that. I don't think it's possible, unfortunately, for Lightblade. He's going to have a look in the mirrors here, and Lightblade's got a warning from the race director there, trying to slow down and trying to signal to the race director, look, I'm slowing down, guys, what more can I do? But at the end of the day, it looks like he's had to back right off here. The gap almost at a second now. Smithy with the race in his grasp here. He's about to begin the final lap. He's going to come around the last corner, and he's about to start the final lap here, Smithy. When he comes around to the next couple of corners. I keep forgetting that that's not the last corner. They look so similar, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise for that one. We're hearing a team radio from Nakatadu. There's been a collision there between him and, I think, Demobi. It was either Demobi or Lionsfoot that he collided with there. Nakatadu drop him back, and he's going to fall back into the clutches here of Grandad Steve. Grandad Steve with a disappointing round here here at Brno. For whatever reason, that's not got it going in this particular race. Nakatadu here falling in. It looks like Smithy has crossed the line to take the race win here at Brno in our feature race. Lightblade takes 2nd place. A penalty of 2 seconds there. In the end, didn't matter. You couldn't pass him on the track. Bobby Dazzler is going to come over the line in 3rd place. Then we've got Uni Clark holding on for 4th. The Console just snips 5th off of Stealth Sheep at the end there. Kembo in the end comes over in 7th, Lecky 8th, then Demobi, Lionsfoot completes the top 10, Nakatadu with a last lap calamity there, drops back, and with the penalty is passed by Grandad Stee on the classification there. Thorsten Schmidt in the BMW, 13th place. Tuggy Bear is coming through the last few corners now, and he will complete the race in 14th position. What a race there. Smithy limiting the damage in the championship done in this race. In fact, he's pretty much nullified the points gained from Demobi in the first race. Demobi with a disappointing one in our feature race there. Smithy, fantastic response to a disappointment of missing the race in the sprint, and definitely gaining some points here in the championship race with Demobi. Smithy takes the win here in our feature race. Lightblade 2nd. Bobby Dazzler completes the podium. Good driving from him. Uni Clark, the Console. Stealth Sheep and Kembo. Stealth Sheep, disastrous feature race here. He took the win in our sprint in his debut in RubbingsRacing's Tier 1 Touring Car Championship. Couldn't repeat that sort of drive in the feature. Kembo, Lecky, Demobi and Lionsfoot complete the top 10. And then we've got Grandad Stee, Nakatadu, Thorsten Schmidt and Tuggy Bear finishing in 14th position. Good racing from all the guys, and I just want to say a big thank you to everybody watching on the stream, everybody who tuned in tonight. If you're interested in joining us, go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk, like and subscribe. Be sure to donate at www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Hit that sub, like and bell button. We'll see you guys on Thursday for Thursday Night Lights. Be sure to join us next week for the touring cars, and peace.